Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Zmore, the dad in DPS, and we're back with another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Scrap, a series where I review weapons in Appalachia and see how well they put holes in freaks. Today is no different, so before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's see what happens. Don't get too close, you might get some booty shrapnel. So, booty shrapnel, a quad ammo capacity, VATS hit chance, resistance while reloading. Harpoon gun. Now, the reason I like this weapon, and I'm wanting to review it, is for that VATS hit chance. Now, this weapon with the flechette mod kind of acts like a shotgun. And as a result, having VATS hit chance and increasing your chance of hitting those headshots potentially increases the damage of this thing quite significantly. So, let's see how it goes. So, the Harpoon gun. Now, this weapon does some pretty decent damage per shot. And the main flaw of it is that it doesn't have, well, it doesn't have multiple ammo slots, which this weapon sort of makes up for. As you can see, like, against things like floaters, you don't get the real benefit out of this. Mainly because floaters' weak point is not as relevant on other enemies. But, as you've seen with the super mutants, 2 shots and they are thoroughly executed. The reload speed isn't too bad either, and with the kind of way that you use this weapon, you can use it in VATS quite effectively, especially when you get crits, and then you can also use it outside of VATS quite effectively. It isn't a weapon that I would say that you can't use outside of VATS, because you're seeing, if I take the time to aim and fire, we're one-shotting things. It's effective. It is actually effective. And the VATS addition just gives you that extra little bit of burst damage that's going to enable you to kill things with greater ease for deafening. And it is very, very powerful weapon. And as my adrenaline is pumping up, I'm just getting more and more damage out of the point where I am going from one-shotting things, well, 2-shotting things, to 1-shotting things. It's just a significantly powerful weapon, and it's fun. It is actually fun. In terms of the ammo, relatively cheap to make. You do, on a few bases, get it back as well. But let's move on to the build. So as you can see with this build, it is a slightly modified version of my heavy build. I could edit certain things like go for less perception and things like that, but I'm not really feeling the urge to do it just for this weapon. Either way, it is just a kind of standard heavy build using all the kind of things that make heavy builds stronger. I don't know why I've got Enforcer on. I really should use something like Action Boy to get that stuff back. But yeah, it is just a standard basic heavy build. So you know where we are. You know the man that we are up against. It's Jeff. We're gonna test this weapon out on him, see how well we are able to use it. And a fact I will point out is because this is like a shotgun style weapon, we can use it in several different ways, and I'm going to demonstrate it with Jeff. You can see, there's one leg completely shattered, there's another leg completely shattered, and then we're able to just lay into Jeff's big old fat head. And you're seeing the damage is really, really good. He's going down fairly quickly. We're not using a lot of ammo to do this, and Jeff is dead. Now, as usual, when I'm on a heavy build and we are up against the crabs, I don't really bother with the murdering them first type shtick. I'm much happier just coming in and seeing what we can do in terms of just ruining their day in general. Like, literally, I just find it funny that I can just wail on them quite happily and not get any real recourse. So, the queen's awake, and what we're going to do is we are going to look for the spouts. You see, we're going to try and get them crippled. And while we are not in that, we're just going to lay into her legs and hope that we manage to cripple them while she's there. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is this is obviously not as effective against her as it is with Jeff. And the reason for that will be her inherent resistances and just general things about the creature itself. It's got nothing to do with the damage of the weapon. The damage of the weapon's still pretty good, but inevitably when you're up against certain enemies in the game, you just don't deal the same damage. It is a fundamental thing. Certain weapons do not work as well against certain enemies. So you're kind of forced to deal with certain things. Like, for example, with her, you're best just crippling her and then using a different weapon. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not one to bullshit about weapon going, this is amazing, this will do everything. Blah, 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 blah. You're seeing, like, she's going down. It's not going to be quick, and it's not going to be pleasant for you. And if you're in the situation where I am, where I've deliberately kept all her brood alive or just attacked her on her own, yeah, it's just a very slow process. Now we come to daily ops. Now this is decryption day, and that means these things are going to be fairly chunky and, you know, well, chunky is the wrong word, brutally murderous. So I am in a certain degree of danger against these enemies because they can kill me fairly quickly. And as you're seeing, the Harpoon gun isn't quite as effective as I would like it to be in this mode. However, the one thing I will say about it is that you are getting a crap load of ammo back. It's fairly effective at farming the ammo. Not so much at killing the enemies. I don't think it, well, I don't know if it's maybe the super mutants aren't the best example. If this was human enemies, I can almost guarantee they would go down in definitely 2 shots. I freaking hate the burrows. There we go. They definitely go down in 2 shots, but super mutants are just that much more tanky than humans, that they're able to survive. But at the same time, 16 for 4 shots isn't bad. The ammo in terms of like damage per shot per what you get back is significant. And if this wasn't decryption, I'm fairly certain I would not be feeling a bit more pressured. If it was uplink, I don't think there would be as much worry that these guys might kill me. As you're seeing, 4 is like the minimum amount. So 4 is the minimum, well, the maximum amount that you'll need to kill, and 4 is the minimum amount of ammo you get back. So you are getting your ammo back quite consistently with this. It's just a shame that it's not weaker enemies, and every time I do these videos, it seems to be freaking good decryption day. I hate decryption so much. So let's start off with our chosen undead. We have Golty, Deofian Gaming, the BDP, Bubba Doodle Mom, TFE Archive, Philip Duda, Call, PT Buns, Devilman Games, and Peggy Knight, as well as our dad's army members, Wyatt Blackburn, Waller is me, Colin G, Matasbo, Numpty, Sickleman, James Golshard, Prophet 7 Back, Country Boy Stevens, Reaper Gaming 92, Vectrix, Evil Rat, Blue Eagle Productions, and Prince Julius. Big thanks to each and every one of you. Your support is very much appreciated, and I hope you're all doing very well. So the Harpoon gun, it is a weapon that I do enjoy, and being able to use this one in VATS is definitely a big boost. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the weapon, and we'll catch you next time in the Wasteland.